This is a recorded informational overview of the Colorado Division of Housing, or CDOH, Office of Homelessness Initiatives, or OHI, Homelessness Resolution Program, HRP, Notice of Funding Availability, or NOFA, for 2025. Hello and welcome to all new and existing HRP subrecipients. This is a pre-recorded webinar providing a high-level overview of the content and key information included in the 2025 HRP Notice of Funding. HRP grant managers strongly encourage applicants to read the NOFA guidelines linked here thoroughly for more details. This presentation will prompt you regarding key information to be aware of and to read more about in detail in several resources, including the NOFA guidelines, HUD Emergency Solutions Grant Guiding Regulations, and the Homelessness Resolution Program Policies and Procedures, all linked at the end of this presentation. Please submit all questions regarding the NOFA on the question form, also linked here. Please note you must register with the Division of Housing Grant Management Portal, Neighborly, to apply for this NOFA. Please register on the portal and familiarize yourself with this platform and the application prior to the deadline. To submit an application for funding, you'll be required to create an organization profile, upload required compliance documents, respond to narrative prompts, and confirm official submission of your application. The topics this presentation covers follows the NOFA guidelines content and are as follows. Number 1, HRP overview. Number 2, funding allocation and grant administration. Number 3, funding priorities. Number 4, eligible applicants and activities. Number 5, HRP requirements. And number 6, resources. Again, a reminder that further details on all of these topics are provided in the NOFA guidelines document. The Office of Homelessness Initiatives Vision. The Homelessness Resolution Program is a program of the Colorado Division of Housing Office of Homeless Initiatives, or OHI. The vision of OHI is that everyone in Colorado has a safe, stable, and affordable place to live, and we create a future where homelessness is rare, brief, and non-recurring. To support this vision, the HRP program administers federal and state funding to prevent and end homelessness in Colorado. HRP is authorized to fund limited, eligible activities to eligible and compliant applicants only. Additionally, applicants are evaluated based upon their alignment with Colorado's key homelessness response strategies, detailed in the OHI Strategy Playbook, Making Homelessness History in Colorado, linked here. Funding allocation and administration. HRP is supported with both federal and state funds, such as Federal Housing and Urban Development, or HUD program funds, such as Emergency Solutions Grant, or ESG funds, or Community Development Block Grant funds, or CDBG, as well as state funds dedicated to ending homelessness, such as the State of Colorado Proposition 123 funds. Because our program funds applicants with both federal and state funds, HRP administers applications and compliance to meet both federal funding source and state funding source compliance requirements. This allows HRP to adapt and adjust efficiently and effectively, knowing all applicants and awards are eligible and compliant with both federal and state funded programs. Ultimately, the limited available funding is allocated based upon a competitive procurement process that includes 3 key areas: alignment with the NOFA aim and priorities, compliance with state and federal funding requirements, and strong financial management and controls. HRP is a reimbursement model, meaning grantees incur eligible costs and then submit documentation of these costs for reimbursement. This means applicants must demonstrate strong financial standing and controls to incorporate the reimbursement model. NOFA priorities. In addition to documentation of regulatory compliance and financial standing, applicants also provide narratives and data to demonstrate how their proposed programs align with the funding priorities of the NOFA. These are to advance the statewide housing-focused continuum of services, to support local and regional collaboration, to use real-time data, to implement client-centered low-barrier activities, and to build reliable connections to appropriate housing and services participants need. Key dates. Please pay special attention to key program dates, including the application due date of August 25th, the announcement of grant awards in late November or early December, and very importantly, the grant performance period, which is typically April 1st to March 31st every year on an annual cycle. Note that the costs incurred for the grant period cannot begin until April 1st, so it is important to note program costs will not be reimbursed that are incurred prior to this date, although the grant award notice will be many months prior. Eligible applicants. Eligible applicants include local governments, nonprofits, continuums of care who focus on homelessness response, as well as community services who include or target services to persons experiencing homelessness and provide specialized services for this population. Bear in mind, all awarded programs must follow financial, data collection, documentation, and reporting guidance per the governing regulations, so ensure that your program has administrative and financial capacity to comply with HRP program requirements prior to applying. Requirements will be reviewed later in the presentation, but be sure your organization allows for rigorous compliance and oversight of this administratively rigorous program. Eligible activities. The HRP program supports activities across the homelessness response continuum, including street outreach, emergency shelter, homelessness prevention, and rapid rehousing. Finally, support for data collection in the Statewide Homelessness Management Information System, or HMIS, is also provided. Data collection can be supported in any activity or as a standalone activity. Please read the NOFA guidelines, ESG regulations, HRP policies and procedures, and other resources provided at the end of this presentation very carefully to learn more about the eligible costs and compliance requirements for each activity, particularly new programs mentioned next that you may be unfamiliar with or you may be interested in piloting as new programs in your organization. In general, each activity reimburses costs for staff, operations, materials and supplies, and data collection costs that support eligible persons experiencing homelessness. However, each activity is specific. We recommend organizations be familiar with the opportunities and limitations of each activity by carefully reviewing program resources. New eligible activities. New programs have been incorporated into HRP, such as bridge housing, as well as set-aside funding to provide services for formerly incarcerated persons, or FIP. Please read the NOFA guidelines very carefully if you're interested in applying for these new activities. HRP program requirements. A few of the key HRP program requirements are listed here, but this is not an exhaustive list. Some of the requirements include documented policies and procedures, specific record keeping, financial management and controls, and HRP-funded program data collection and quarterly reporting. As an applicant reviews the NOFA and the HRP program resources provided in the following slide, keep HRP program requirements in mind, as we are also required to monitor grantees for compliance, so these will be officially confirmed. Some compliance is confirmed with document submission at application and reviewed for thresholds before awarding, and other requirements are followed up later in monitoring during the grant performance period. HRP program resources. Please take a moment to look at each of these provided resources to be aware of the content and format of each. The HRP Toolkit is an online resource hub for grantees and community regarding HRP program implementation and compliance. It includes detailed technical information on eligible activities, reimbursement procedures, regulations, and oversight and resources on best practices. The HRP Grant Management Overview is a very technical and very detailed presentation on program requirements and compliance. It is a helpful tool to learn about the scale and scope of managing an HRP grant award and provides insight into what will be required if awarded. The HRP policies and procedures are a helpful guidance to best understand HRP program implementation. Our policies and procedures also provide an example to grantees, as all awarded programs must have their own relevant agency and project-specific policies and procedures in place at application. These can be requested by the state at any time, as they are a requirement for applicants. The ESG program regulations, otherwise known as 24 CFR Part 576, are foundational to HRP implementation. It is critical that grantees be familiar with these codes of federal regulations, and especially the program components or activities and program requirements and grant administration detailed in this federal code. Finally, we rely on an updated mailing list to share important information with our grantees and communities. Please be sure you and any relevant staff and leadership are signed up for the Colorado Department of Local Affairs e-newsletter and our HRP mailing list, both linked here. This concludes our overview of the HRP Notice of Funding. We would like to thank all of our community partners and colleagues for your dedication to ending homelessness alongside us. Don't forget, if you have questions, please use the Ask a Question Google form linked here and on slide 2.